On a scorching summer day, Captain Peter Peirah and his notorious crew embarked on what would become their final voyage. The sun blazed down on the deck of their ship, the Black Crow, as it sliced through the waters of the Gulf of Mexico. The air was thick with the promise of adventure and danger, the kind that only the high seas could offer. Little did they know, this journey would end in tragedy near the treacherous shores of Big Branford Island. Peter Peirah was not an ordinary pirate. He had a reputation that struck fear into the hearts of men across the Caribbean. His eyes, as blue as the Suwannee River, held secrets and stories of countless battles won and treasures plundered. The Black Crow, his beloved ship, was both his fortress and his tomb, destined to meet its end in the depths of the ocean. As they approached the Suwannee River, the crew's anticipation grew. The river was a lifeline, winding its way through the heart of Florida, feeding into the Gulf of Mexico. It was both a destination and a warning, for its waters held both bounty and peril. Many a sailor had met their end in its treacherous currents. Captain Peirah stood at the helm, his gaze fixed on the horizon. He knew the dangers that lay ahead, but he was driven by an insatiable hunger for gold and glory. The crew, loyal and fierce, trusted him implicitly. They had faced death together many times before, and they were prepared to do so again. Peter Peirah's early life was shrouded in mystery. Some said he was born on the stormy coasts of Ireland, while others claimed he hailed from a small village near Cat Island. What was certain, however, was his rise to infamy. From a young age, he showed an uncanny ability to navigate the seas and command respect. His charisma drew men to him like moths to a flame. Peirah's name became synonymous with fear and fascination. Tales of his exploits spread far and wide, whispered in taverns and markets. He was said to have discovered hidden islands, like Big and Little Pine, where he stashed untold riches. These islands, remote and surrounded by treacherous reefs, became the stuff of legend. Only those with Peirah's skill could hope to find them. Despite his fearsome reputation, Peirah was known for his sense of justice, albeit a pirate's version of it. He punished betrayal harshly, but rewarded loyalty generously. His crew were bound to him not just by fear, but by a strange sense of camaraderie and mutual respect. They followed him not just for gold, but for the adventure that life with Peirah promised. One fateful night, Peirah confided in his first mate about a map he'd acquired. It pointed to a treasure buried deep within the maze of islands near Odom. The promise of unimaginable wealth spurred the crew into action, setting the course for their destiny. Little did they know, this treasure hunt would lead them to the heart of darkness. The journey to Big Branford Island was fraught with peril. The Gulf of Mexico was known for its unpredictable storms and hidden reefs. Navigating these waters required skill, courage, and a fair amount of luck. For Peter Peirah and his crew, it was just another day in the life of a pirate. As they sailed closer to their destination, the weather turned ominous. Dark clouds gathered on the horizon, and the sea grew restless. The crew worked tirelessly, adjusting sails and securing the rigging. Every man knew that a storm at sea could spell disaster. But they also knew that the greatest treasures were often found in the most dangerous places. Peirah's sharp eyes scanned the waters, looking for any sign of land. The islands of Big Branford and Little Branford were said to be surrounded by treacherous reefs that could rip a ship apart. Only seasoned sailors dared to venture into these waters. The promise of treasure, however, was a powerful lure. As the storm hit, the Black Crow was tossed like a toy in the angry sea. Lightning split the sky, and the thunder roared like a beast. The crew fought valiantly to keep the ship afloat, but nature's fury was relentless. Amid the chaos, Peirah's resolve never wavered. He barked orders, his voice a beacon of strength in the storm. Life as a pirate was brutal and unforgiving. The promise of treasure and adventure came with a heavy price. Days were spent under the scorching sun, and nights were filled with the threat of ambush or betrayal. The crew of the Black Crow knew this all too well. Each man bore scars from battles fought and storms survived. Food was scarce, and what little they had was often spoiled by the salty sea air. Rations had to be carefully managed, and fresh water was a precious commodity. The Suwannee River, with its fresh waters, was a welcome respite, but such moments of relief were rare. Most of the time they had to make do with what they had, and they did so with grim determination. The camaraderie among the pirates was forged in the fires of hardship. They relied on each other for survival, sharing both the good times and the bad. loyalty was paramount, and betrayal was met with swift and brutal justice. Peirah ruled with a firm hand, but he was also fair. He understood the value of each man under his command. Entertainment was scarce, but the men found ways to pass the time. Stories of past exploits were shared, songs were sung, and games of chance were played. These moments of camaraderie were a brief respite from the harsh realities of their lives. They reminded the men why they had chosen this life of danger and adventure. The lure of treasure was what kept the crew going. Peirah's map promised riches beyond imagination, hidden somewhere near Odom Island. The journey was perilous, but the potential reward was worth the risk. Each man dreamed of the fortune that awaited them, driving them forward despite the dangers. As they approached Odom Island, the anticipation was palpable. The crew's eyes gleamed with the promise of gold and jewels. The island, shrouded in mist, seemed both inviting and forbidding. Peirah, ever the strategist, divided his men into search parties. Each crew member had their role to play in the hunt for treasure. The search was grueling. They combed through dense foliage, navigated treacherous cliffs, and battled the elements. Days turned into weeks, and still the treasure eluded them. But the crew's resolve never wavered. They knew that the greatest rewards required the greatest effort. Peirah, driven by his unyielding determination, led them with unwavering confidence. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, they stumbled upon a hidden cave. The air was thick with excitement as they ventured inside. The flickering torchlight revealed chests of gold, glittering jewels, and ancient artifacts. The sight was enough to take their breath away. They had found what they had come for, but the true challenge was yet to come. As they prepared to transport their newfound treasure, shadows loomed on the horizon. The Black Crow, their faithful ship, was anchored off the coast of Big Branford Island. They loaded the chests onto the ship, their hearts filled with triumph. But fate had other plans. A storm, fierce and unforgiving, descended upon them without warning. The waves crashed against the ship, and the wind howled like a banshee. The Black Crow, despite its sturdy build, was no match for nature's fury. The crew fought valiantly to keep the ship afloat, but the storm was relentless. In the chaos, the treasure was lost to the sea, swallowed by the depths as if it had never existed. Peirah, ever the resilient captain, tried to rally his men. But the storm was too powerful. One by one, the crew was swept into the watery abyss. The Black Crow, their home and their hope, was torn apart by the ruthless waves. Peirah himself was last seen clinging to a piece of driftwood, his fate unknown. To this day, the mystery of the sunken Black Crow remains unsolved. Divers and treasure hunters have searched the waters near Big Branford Island, hoping to uncover the lost treasure of Peirah, but the sea guards its secrets well. The legend of Peirah and his sunken pirate ship lives on, a testament to the enduring allure of the mysteries of the deep